And then go ahead, Shravananda, then Jennifer.
Hey,
Hello. I have a question about digestion.
Sure.
I took the digestion course you gave a few weeks ago, and
Mhm.
I couldn't find an answer to exactly my issue. So now I'm
Fire
getting
away.
it directly.
Yeah.
So it seems like about a week ago, my actual stomach organ and then the upper intestines, although I can't tell if it's the transverse colon or the small intestines, but it felt like the entire thing just seized. My stomach was just hard as a rock.
Hmm.
And I
You go
know
more to the right side, more to the left side?
no dead center.
Dead center. Okay.
Yeah. So that's been about 5 or 6 days. And this morning, it started to be slightly palpable, but it's tender to the touch. So I wasn't sure
Hmm.
if it was muscular. Like, I've been able to go to the bathroom just fine.
Okay.
It was just hard.
Okay.
The area was hard.
Right,
So I'm
right,
not
right.
sure if it was the organs or the muscle overlying the organs or an infection. I don't know.
Okay. Well, sometimes with something like this, we just start treating and we see what happens, and that sometimes tells us, like a good piece of the information. And
Yeah, because
so,
sometimes my stomach will like get tight. I have digestive issues. I get up tight and it gets really big, like double its size. I mean, my abdomen.
right.
If I eat something that I can't digest easily.
Okay.
But this has been a week plus it's hard.
It's hard. And how about bloating, gas, anything like that?
Yeah, there's been some, but just a typical amount.
Typical amount. And any sort of back issue or anything like that? Any muscular issue, like you were saying?
Yeah, that's in my upper thoracic. It's like
Yeah.
the spine and muscles behind my heart.
Okay. How's your breathing? Like, are you able to take a nice, good deep breath? Are you breathing rapid? Are you breathing real shallow?
My breathing's been labored for about the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
Particularly
It's probably a diaphragm issue, and diaphragm like tightening up can cause like some of those areas to kind of harden up. Are you getting a stitch in your side at all, like either side?
Yep, right and
Yeah.
left.
Okay. That's so you have two things. You have the diaphragm, but I'm going to show you a picture, and this is why you're not able to take a deep breath, like this thing I'm about to show you.
Okay.
Um,
My breath actually seizes when I start to laugh.
yeah. The stitch on the side is a really big indicator for this particular syndrome.
Okay.
And I say syndrome, it's not really a syndrome, it's just so okay. And okay, so I just sent it to Samantha. She's gonna pop it up there for a second.
Okay.
So you have kind of two issues, and I think this is actually causing the diaphragm to tighten up.
So give me just a second. I'll
Yeah.
have this up for you to be looking at.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so you see like there's the upper one, go down to the bottom one. You see like there's the red X on the one that's on the left where it's the person, and there's like the red stuff with the X.
Yep.
And then you can see the muscles there. So this is called the serratus anterior, and it's a muscle, it's a skeletal muscle that aids in respiration. So it aids in like the movement of the rib cage when you're breathing. Now, what happens is when that develops like a trigger point or tightens up, it causes a stitch in the side, right? But it limits the ability that the rib cage can expand. So what starts to happen is your other skeletal muscles start fighting this particular muscle because it's like it's cramped up or it's tight or whatever, whatever you want to call it. And it can't get the rib cage to elevate like it would. So then this actually starts to throw the diaphragm in place. So what I would do is I would take you could use like rosemary, you could use pepper, you could use marjoram, ginger, the trigger point blend, even maybe the lymphatic blend, just something in that area. Put like 6-8 drops in your hand of a little bit of lotion, and then rub it on one side, and then put 6 or 8 drops, and then do it on the other side. And you'll probably have to do it for a few days, but it will start to unwind that particular piece. And just that will a lot of times start to unwind the diaphragm. But then after that, use something like hyssop or larch, Sitka, myrtle, something that you have that will deepen the breath. Anything in that realm, just treat this first. Treat this for like 2 or 3 days. And when you start to feel the stitch in the side is diminishing, then go and start doing like the deeper breathing with the oil. And it should unwind. It might take you like a week or so. The diaphragm can get really wound up sometimes, but even if the diaphragm wasn't tight and this was present, it's going to shut down the rib cage from elevating so much. So eventually it can cause the diaphragm to go into spasm. And then what happens then is it starts to tighten up the spinal muscles, like up and down the spine. And you can kind of see, like even here, there's the side pain, but there's even a little bit of pain on the area around the shoulder blade. And so what happens is, sometimes it's not just this muscle or this trigger point that starts to happen. It starts to cause like a chain reaction, and you will start to develop like issues between the shoulder blades and even on the shoulder blade itself or on the outside of the shoulder blade. And so treat this for a little bit. And then when you feel that like your breath is starting to go deeper, then do things to deepen the breath. Like if you did it right now, like to deepen the breath, it just wouldn't go very far because this is holding back the elevation of the ribs. So, if you want to do it sooner, that's fine. But like you really have to unwind the sides of the rib cage.
Okay.
Yeah. It will probably even resolve a little bit of the stuff going on between your shoulder blades.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sometimes in a situation like this, if it's non-responsive to like the marjoram or the things that we're talking about, the rosemary, the pepper, sometimes what I've used when it's been slower to unwind is terebinth. And terebinth, it works when it works. It's not my first thing to go to, but like if those other things, like wherever you have, like you can just try one of them. And if it doesn't work,
putting the marjoram and the lymphatic blend on daily.
Mm-hmm. Have you been hitting the sides of your rib cage?
Yes.
But
I have pepper. I have pepper. A pepper.
Let's maybe have you hit it with pepper, like hit it with some pepper and like 6-8 drops. Like go big with it. Okay. Yeah. Go like really try to unwind that thing.
Okay.
And I mean, I used to see this in athletes a lot, and then there's another group that this will happen from time to time. But anyway, like times where you have to really like struggle to breathe, or you're like exercising, or coughing can do it. Asthmatics sometimes will have it. They usually have other things going on, so this isn't usually the big one, but have you had bouts of coughing, or like really pushing yourself, exercising, or like climbing stairs and getting winded? The other thing is like carrying things in front of you, like kind of heavy
Yeah,
over a period of time. Yeah, that probably is what did it. Yeah,
yeah.
and so unwind it. It doesn't mean you have to stop any of that, but like unwind it first before you really push that stuff again.
Okay, and would it help to apply the oils along the scapula as well? Because those are
You can, yeah, sure, you
easier
can,
to the
yeah,
touch. Okay.
yeah, and then I would just do whatever you can to make that comfortable. I mean, those oils would work. The thing with some stuff like around the like in between the shoulder blades is sometimes also applying it on the shoulder blade. There's a big muscle that is called the infraspinatus that is on a big chunk of the shoulder blade. And when that's thrown off, like, how like sometimes people will say, like, if I move my shoulder like this, there's a lot of like popping and creaking and everything. That's the infraspinatus is throwing off the tracking of the joint. And I would hit that area, and then I'd also hit up high, like up in here. And even though it's not an area where you're feeling the pain, it's just, look, you're just trying to unwind that whole shoulder girdle. The other thing to also keep in mind is like the shoulder will roll forward sometimes. And so like the contraction is on the front side, like it's up in this area, like below the collarbone and kind of close to the arm, like where the arm and the shoulder meet. And like contractures there will overload the backside between the shoulder blades. So like when you start getting in doubt, just start treating it all. Treat the front, treat the sides, treat the back. I have a shoulder that I've injured like multiple times, and probably needed to have surgery. And I'm just like, stubborn. I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it. And I'll treat the back side, and I'm just like, oh, it's just not getting better. And then I'll start treating the front side, and it gets better really quick.
Okay.
And so you just kind of start hitting the different pieces, and, keep in mind that muscles work with other muscles and work against other muscles. And that balance between the two is what maintains like a muscular balance in that shoulder girdle. And so sometimes just treating the spot, like you'll get a little bit of temporary relief, but the issue is that you have to unwind things that actually aren't hurting. Because like the rule of thumb is like when a muscle has been elongated and there's pain present, so like the shoulders rolled forward, if it was acute, like if it was new, it would hurt on the front. But if it's old, it'll hurt on the back. Right. So like at first, when an injury is new, the contracted part will hurt. But when it's older, like more than 30 days, more than 60 days, it will start hurting on the elongated side. And so the goal is not just to relieve pain, but to balance out that muscle imbalance. And first I would undo the tension and the spasms and things to balance out muscle imbalances. Muscle imbalances can happen for all kinds of things. Inflammation is usually a big reason why muscle imbalances happen, by the way. And so one of the things that you can use to balance out muscle imbalances is spikenard and valerian. And it's, again, just topical. Like you would just rub it on all those areas, and it starts to balance out the muscle groups. And so I would treat it the way that we talked about for a little bit. And then the next wave can just be spikenard on everywhere in that area. And potentially it should balance out.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much.
You're so welcome.